Hi everyone, welcome back to Relive with Riv. I'm really excited today because we have a guest speaker who's going to be sharing with us his journey. His name is Benjamin Morley. He is a youth mentor, a recovery coach, and an addiction specialist. There's a lot that we can gain from his story, and I hope you all enjoy. Ben, welcome to Relive with Riv.
Thank you so much for having me. Very exciting to be here with Relive with Riv. I love what you're doing. I love the concept and really privileged and honoured to be on your program.
Amazing. So Ben, how were you introduced to drugs in the first place?
Oh, good question. Glad you asked. I guess, how everybody is introduced. From year 8, marijuana, I started to experiment. I started to use drugs recreationally. Slowly, after a period of time, marijuana wasn't enough for me. I was addicted to methamphetamine and cocaine, and I was stuck in the cycle of addiction for a very long time, and I couldn't break out of that. If you asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up, I would never have said a drug addict. Yeah. That wasn't on the cards for me. I didn't plan that out. But eventually, over a period of time, the drugs become so ingrained in society, ingrained in yourself, that after you become addicted, that serotonin and dopamine release that you get from excessive drug taking becomes number one. Drugs came above sleeping, above eating, above food, above sex, above relationships, above love. All I wanted to do on a regular basis was get my next drug or get my next fix. I was enslaved to the drugs. I was caught up in that cycle, and there was really no way out. There's no real reason why people become addicted. 14% of all humans can have addictive tendencies, but I'm a big believer as addiction as a disease model. If you have cancer, you go to the hospital, you go and get help. Similar to an addiction, if you have an addiction, people need in order to get help through that.
Then the next question is, how did you get clean?
How did I get clean? Great question. To be honest, I never actually thought that I would get clean. And it wasn't until I hit a rock bottom in my apartment on my own, half naked on the floor with a syringe hanging out my vein, nearly 1,500 days ago, that my Israeli brother-in-law came inside, sort of beat me up a little bit, put me in the back of my dad's car, and sent me off to a 12-step rehab. And that was the first day of the rest of my life. So I did 97 days, which was probably the hardest 97 days of my life. Yeah. There was no phones, there was no internet, there was no TV, there were no girls, there was no contact with the outside world, there was no sugar. I was just alone with myself and my thoughts. Checking in with people every day. It was really challenging. I had many triggers, I had many cravings, I had many using thoughts. And now I'm a qualified addiction specialist and recovery coach and life coach.
So you did a full 180?
I did a full 180. Wow. Now people ring me up in our community, or they ring up my parents or my sister, not saying, oh, we've seen Ben Morley hanging out on St Kilda Road banging his head against traffic lights, but we actually need Ben Morley. We want to speak to your brother, to your son. We need him to help us.
So what's a message that you can share with your viewers?
It's okay to not be okay.
Thank you so much for featuring on my channel. I really do appreciate it. It was really inspiring how you're just able to take what you've been through and transform it into something that you can help others with. And we really are grateful to have you on the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And I'll pop this on Drug Ed as well. And I'll get heaps of people to have a look at your site and follow, because I think it's really important, the message that you're trying to send.
Amazing.
So thanks very much.